Hey everybody out there in the YO universe, this is Survivor 2002 coming at you again from the Secret Land, Virginia. And here we are at week 6 of So You Think You Can Dance, and we are down to our top 10, the final 5 guys and the final 5 girls. They really mixed and matched everything last night, including the new pairings that resulted from picking names out of the hat. And to say that they were unusual and challenging is to put it rather mildly. So let's jump in and see what happened last night. We kicked things off with the top 5 girls doing a Bollywood piece designed by NAKUL, and the music was Dolna, if I'm pronouncing that right, performing the theme song to Pyar K Geets, or Pyar Ki Geets, from the soundtrack of the same name. Pretty good dance. NAKUL really knows his Bollywood, and he knows how to stage it so that it brings the best out of all the dancers, and the girls were phenomenal. They were very strong together, and it was very cool the way that they did work together, because nobody did step forward and say, well, I'm the better dancer, so I'll steal this moment. And it's good to see that they didn't do that. So it shows a very high degree of professionalism on everybody's parts in that. First couples to perform were KAYLA and Evan, doing a Tony Meredith and Melanie Lapatin Viennese waltz to Kiss from a Rose by Seal. Now, we expected that Evan was going to have some challenges no matter what, but getting paired up with one of the tallest girls in the competition, yikes. I saw that and went, oh my God, this is probably his and her worst nightmare. But Tony and Melanie had a way to make that work, and it was phenomenal. They were really good the way they worked together, and that's a strong little dude right there. To be able to lift her the way he did, like, you know, like he was lifting, I guess, a sandwich, but they really did well together, against all odds, I might add. But I don't think they're in any danger of going home. Following them was the first solo performance by Brandon to Jeffrey Gaines' cover of Peter Gabriel's In Your Eyes. Brandon pretty much is not going to do any wrong when he does a solo, so it was what we've always expected of him. I don't want to say that he was holding back, but it seems now like, I don't even want to say that he's gotten cocky, but it's kind of like, oh yeah, it's a solo, it's all good, I know I'm going to knock it out of the park anyway. I think he needs to sort of watch that though, because as we review the different performances, he's got some people breathing down his neck. So I think he needs to keep that in mind when he does the solos. And that brings us to the second couple. Surprise, surprise, YAAAAY and JANETTE. And YAAAAY's got to be one of the tallest dudes, and JANETTE's got to be one of the smallest girls, which, okay, after what happened with KAYLA and Evan, should we be surprised? No. But they performed a hip-hop number choreographed by NAPPYTABS, and the song they used was Love, Sex, Magic by Sierra, featuring Justin Timberlake. They were one of the best couple performances of the night. I mean, for somebody that didn't have a lot of funk when she got started, I'd have to say JANETTE had plenty of funk by the time they got through with her, because it was really good. And for someone whose basic genre is nothing but salsa, she knocked it out of the ballpark, and YAAAAY was a great help to her in that respect. So I gave them 5 stars, at least the best, if not one of the best, couples performances of the night. I don't think they have any problems. They were followed by the second solo, which was performed by RANDI, to Priscilla Ann's Dream. I wasn't really feeling her solo last night. Earlier on, I guess a couple of weeks ago, Mia had said something to her about dancing heavy, and that's not really a reference to her weight, but there's just something about her performance style that was kind of, I don't want to say bogged down, but you could kind of tell she was missing Evan terribly. And I think it's kind of unfortunate that she might have let that slip into her performance. But I think because the goodwill that she might have gotten from being with Evan for so long, she might be safe. But I don't know. I would almost have to select her as, I mean, the one to be going home tonight, but the voting has a tendency to go really wonky sometimes when it comes to America putting it in. So we'll see if she survives or not. Following her with the third solo was KUPONO, performing to Marina Gasolina by Bonde Durole, if I'm pronouncing that right at all. I'm sorry if I'm massacring some of these names. But KUPONO, I think, is suffering from the same thing. It wasn't what we've expected from him before. It almost seemed like he was phoning it in, which is really unfortunate considering what happens with him later on in the show. But based on the solo alone, I had already sort of pegged him for being someone that might be on the road back to Holmesville. That might be verified by the performance he does later, but yeah, I think KUPONO's in trouble this time. He was followed by our third couple, and that was Janine and Jason doing a Travis Wall number. If you remember Travis, Travis was on in season, let me get this right, maybe season 2 or 3, when he performed an amazing number with his partner that actually won an Emmy for Mia Michaels. So this is his first choreographed piece ever for So You Think You Can Dance, a contemporary piece to the music of Jason Mraz, who performed If It Kills Me from the Casanova Sessions. I guess that's the name of the album. But I also put Stars by this as the best choreographed piece tonight, which it definitely was, hands down. He did Janine and Jason a huge favor by coming up with this because it was incredible. This is probably on par with one of the best pieces, in fact, the best piece that Mia has ever done, which was, incidentally, the piece that Travis performed in. So he definitely was paying attention and soaking it all in when he, I guess, was Mia's protege, because the choreography he came up with really shows. That was a watershed moment for this show, the fact that we might have seen the birth of a major new talent in choreography with this piece. And it got a standing ovation, it got rave reviews from all 3 judges, and deserved it. So I'm glad to see that Travis has actually grown, and they've actually given him a platform to grow by allowing him to do this. So I hope he is a permanent part of the choreography family on So You Think You Can Dance. I'd love to see more pieces from him in the future, and I think we will. But because of that piece, I don't think Janine and Jason are in trouble of going home either. I think they are here to stay, at least for next week. This was followed in rapid succession by the 4th, 5th, and 6th solos. 4th solo was by Melissa to the song Gabriel by Lamb. And Melissa looks beautiful as always. It wasn't an, oh my God, it's a great solo, but it wasn't one of these things where it's like, Melissa, why did you do it that way? That was terrible. So it was good. It might have probably pretty much saved her as far as staying in though. 5th solo was Evan performing to Zing with the Strings of My Heart, covered by Rufus Wainwright, which is always a pleasure to listen to, but it's always a pleasure to watch Evan dance as well. There's just something about that style that we're never going to get tired of. And the part I love the most is that huge backflip he does, and then does his aw shucks, sticks the hands in the pocket, Gene Kelly kind of walk up to the front of the stage. Awesome. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we like him so much. Just classy, amazing, and just fun moves to watch like that. That's why he's in this competition. I think that's why he's going to stay. The 6th solo was KAYLA performing to Rock Your Soul by Alyssa. I put 5 stars next to her because that, for me, was one of the best solos, if not the best solo of the night from the girls. And KAYLA is going to have one heck of a career as far as dancing goes, because she never phones it in. And she always looks like she's having a ball when she dances, regardless of how much pressure is on her as far as competition goes. So I think KAYLA's pretty safe tonight too.